Good morning, everybody. Tim Campbell from Eagle East Aviation here. Rainy Saturday morning. I got a few moments to spare, so I figured I'd talk about a few things that you hear about, but especially as Cessna drivers, you may not get to see because the cowls don't open up like on a Piper. But here's the famous magneto right here. Okay, so you've got dual magnetos, and that's for redundancy in case one fails. And it's very important to realize and to remember that if your alternator fails and your battery fails, your engine is not going to quit because of that. It may on your car, but on an airplane, due to the fact that you have magnetos and dual magnetos, that engine will continue to run without electrical power. So if you don't have a great understanding of these things, and I don't have a lot of time in the video to do it, just Google it, read up on how a magneto works and how it benefits you. And there's also some drawbacks to them as well. Right down here is your P-lead. We've all heard about that, the P-lead, and don't move the prop in case your P-lead is disconnected. This is it. This is what grounds out that magneto when you're doing your mag check, so we can isolate one mag from the other and also shut down the airplane. At the end of the flight, you go to the off position. We've grounded out both mags so they won't fire. If that lead is disconnected or broken, you could have what's called a hot mag, and a hot mag is potentially dangerous because you go to pull the prop through on a cold morning and it may fire on you, okay? Another thing here is, here's the fuel injection system. 6 Tango has this, and this is, I call this the spider, and this is what disperses the fuel to each cylinder, okay? It's much more efficient. You get better fuel burn and more equal fuel burn. But also it has its drawbacks, whereas you'll notice 6 Tango on occasion on a really warm day after it's been run can be a little ornery to start. And part of the reason is that fuel sits in this fuel line and it percolates. It just sits there, the heat of the engine just percolates that fuel and can make it difficult to start. And the tough area is right around 20 minutes after shutdown. So one thing 6 Tango doesn't like is a lot of fuel when it's hot. Don't give it any fuel whatsoever, okay? A few other things that we hear about, we didn't get to see, is our spark plugs. I'm always saying to lean on the ground. And you see here's the electrodes. There's a lot of lead in the 100 low lead aviation fuel. So if you don't lean properly, you'll get lead buildup right in between the electrodes here and cause a rough running, you'll have a bad cylinder or a rough running engine, okay? So we lean aggressively on the ground, especially as we get into the warmer months or long taxis or extended run-ups, okay? Here's your brake pad. We all look at the brake pads before the flight, but if you don't know what a new one looks like, you don't really know what a bad one looks like. So here it is. There isn't much to them. You've only got 2 of these on each side, so you don't have a lot of braking action here. And it's very small, as you can see, and they're just riveted on there. So usually, we'll replace them certainly when they get down to the rivets, but hopefully well before then, okay? So here's that famous vacuum pump. I see people do it all the time. They say, section 5, but they don't know why, okay? So this mounts on the rear of the lie combing, and it's got a shaft here that just mates inside the engine. And the shaft here is made out of a different material than the engine itself. The engine is metallic, this is not. And this is made to shear well before it will cause damage to the engine, okay? And it just, when you fire up the engine, it starts to rotate. And as it rotates, there's little veins inside the vacuum pump that pop out and create that little, I call it a turbine, to create that suction to run your attitude indicator and your heading indicator. Lastly, the famous ELT, where we're always checking at the end of the flight. I'm saying check 121.5. We want to make sure we didn't set off our ELT inadvertently due to maybe we encountered some turbulence or we had a less than pleasant landing. And we really don't want to waste people's time. And what that usually does, if you don't check the 121.5 at the end of the flight and we've inadvertently set off the ELT, we'll have lots of people running around with radios trying to find that ELT has gone off, and it's an inconvenience for a lot of people. So again, before shutdown, 121.5. This is usually located to the rear of the airplane. It has an arm off and on position that you can see right there for the where the antenna goes, and it works on kind of an inertia type of deal. Which if you have an impact, it'll set it off. Okay, so here's your ELT. Brake pads, spark plugs, vacuum pumps, and the famous magnetos.